Let's get to some picks for this week, and this week does not have a great slate of games. Thank you very much, SEC, for all your cupcakes. By the way, in those games, I picked Georgia over UMass and Alabama slightly, in a slight edge over the Citadel. Could be a close one. I don't know. The spread's only 51 points via Vegas. We'll see if Bama can cover the 51. Unbelievable. What an atrocious schedule from that league late in November. Now let's get to some real games, and let's start with Notre Dame in a neutral site game with Syracuse. Now, technically, this is a Notre Dame home game, but at Yankee Stadium against Syracuse, there's going to be a lot of fans there for Syracuse, and this could be a very difficult game for Notre Dame. Remember now, Notre Dame has not played as dominant this back half of the season as they were earlier in the season, in particular in a game against this Michigan squad that we'll see here tomorrow against Indiana. I actually think Cuse is going to be in this one right to the end. Dino Babers has done a sensational job with that Syracuse program. They're 7th in the country in scoring offense, averaging over 44 points per game, right around there. They've done a great job. Now, their defense not quite where they need to be to slow down Notre Dame. Ian Book will be back in the lineup, and this is an offense that is balanced with the run game and the pass game. I think Notre Dame gets a close win in a pseudo-road/neutral site environment there at Yankee Stadium. So I've got Notre Dame in that one. Then we go to the Big 12. Iowa State at Texas. What an intriguing matchup this is. And if David Montgomery, the great running back for Iowa State, weren't suspended for the first half, I would pick the Cyclones, but I'm not going to because of that. David Montgomery is their best player, okay? And they're really good defensively. Offensively, they're playing consistent, but they need David Montgomery to be at their best. And since they won't have him in the first half, I think Texas at home gets that win. Now, what you see with Texas is that their defense has not played very strong in the last couple of weeks. Now, granted, that's against two very good offenses. They faced West Virginia at home, then they faced Texas Tech on the road, so you can understand them struggling a little bit. Gary Johnson, their middle linebacker, is going to have to get back to that form that he was showing in the middle of the season, namely against Oklahoma in that Red River game when he played what I thought was his best game. Remember, they've got two corners on the outside. Devontae Davis, who left the West Virginia game with an injury, he was back against Texas Tech. Chris Boyd and Devontae Davis have got to play well against a guy like Akeem Butler, who is tremendous, a big wide receiver for Iowa State. In this game, though, the ultimate pick for me is going to be Texas. They're used to close games. They're going to get another close game, and I think they win a one-possession game with Sam Ehlinger being really strong late in that ball game. West Virginia in my final pick over Oklahoma State. Now, this one's in Stillwater, and West Virginia is a team that has aspirations for potentially not only winning the Big 12 championship, but also going to the playoff. It's not that far-fetched, by the way, for West Virginia to find themselves in the college football playoff. Will Grier to find himself in New York for a finalist for that Heisman Trophy. I think that they beat Oklahoma State. I think last week took a lot out of Oklahoma State. Taylor Cornelius threw for 500 yards in the loss in the Bedlam game, and I don't think he's going to get over the fact that he missed a pretty open wide receiver on the two-point play that would have given them a one-point lead late in that ball game with about a minute to go. Mike Gundy has done a heck of a job in big games with this squad, but I think West Virginia is on a mission. That offense is too good. The defense plays well in spots. They can get themselves off the field. And ultimately, I think West Virginia wins and sets up a huge showdown with Oklahoma in Morgantown the last week of the season, next week and Thanksgiving week. So those are the picks this week. And remember, the SEC, please schedule somebody that's relevant late in November.